Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Africa Food Stories. In today's episode, we dive into the world of local indigenous foods. Our guest is a dedicated food systems leader working to create sustainable and nutritious solutions for communities. She is also the organic farmer and entrepreneur who's running Sylvia's Basket. Enjoy! Welcome to the podcast, Sylvia Kuria. So, Sylvia, what does it mean to be a food systems leader?
So, being a food systems leader, means that in the food system space, I'm actually taking a position and looking at the gaps and seeing where, I'm able to work with different fellows or stakeholders within the food system space to bring together collective action and meet the different needs that we have in our food systems.
Wow, great. That's a really important role. So can you tell us a little more about the specific actions that you're taking to improve food systems?
So our food systems action is about including our local indigenous foods, such as sorghum, millet, cassava, the indigenous leafy greens, omena, to make them readily available to our children in schools. These foods are known to be nutritionally dense, and they are able to withstand the harsh climatic conditions that we have been going through and the negative effects of climate change.
Yep, makes sense. Nutritious, climate-resilient foods seems like a win-win. So Sylvia, please tell us, what does success look like for you, especially with your food systems action?
Success for me would be that within our 2 pilot counties, which is Vihiga and Kiambu, being able to convince 1 or 2 schools, or 3 or 4 or 5, to actually say that we want our children to eat well. We want our children to have access to our local indigenous foods. We want to be able to work with other stakeholders to ensure that when we start this school feeding program, it's able to be sustained. We want to be able to work with the farmers in the community to feed their own children. So for us, or for me, success for me means that, number one, we are able to make these foods accessible to school kids, to making sure that they actually have access to our own local indigenous foods. And secondly, also being able to work with different stakeholders and actors, being the ministry, the farmers, especially the farmers, being able to encourage farmers to actually grow these foods to feed their own communities.
I am sure that the audience agrees with me that this is an approach that not only benefits school children, but also supports local farmers. So speaking of community involvement, how are you working with policymakers to create a supportive environment for these initiatives?
Success for us is also having a conducive policy environment. Right now, we actually have the National Agroecology Strategy that's going to be launched later this year. And part of the strategy, it actually includes compelling schools and hospitals and different institutions to make sure that the food that they're serving the public is safe and it's grown using agroecological practices. And within the 2 pilot counties that we hope to work in, they already have their draft agroecology policies that hopefully are going to be launched very soon, that will then now create a very conducive environment to make sure that our food systems action is successful.
That is a powerful message, Sylvia. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your insights. And to our listeners, if you want to support sustainable food systems, start by exploring local indigenous foods in your own diet. And until next time, take care and eat well.